A lot of times women think, well, it's the time that he put in because you operate on time that says, okay, he's ready for marriage with me because he's been here for 4 years. And it's like, nah, that's not the case. That man needs to feel some level of wholeness within himself. If he does not feel that, he is not moving forward. Until he feels like, yeah, I can do this. I can do this and we can do this together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, that is just, I love that you have a strong opinion about that. And that's a really good explanation because there's just, I mean, nowadays there's just, the girls are just sitting back and, it's just not moving as quickly. It's different with social media.
Yeah.
Do you still believe in that traditional date? Like if you were if you were mentoring a young man and he told you he was interested in a young lady, what would you tell him?
Yeah, I'm pretty traditional in my stance on things, but the dating world and today, like you brought up social media, people live off what they read on a meme nowadays.
Yes.
So if the meme says that man doesn't make this amount of money, so don't date him, that's what people do. So the dating world is a little bit more complicated than it was when I was coming up. Like I said, me and my wife, we broke together. Like our dates was going to the movies, hanging out, going bowling, those kind of things. Nowadays, they got memes out to say date better be $200 at bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? And people take that. Yeah. People take that to heart. I had a conversation with a young girl at the office recently about the same kind of thing. She says, "Well, I want a man that's where I'm at in my career right now." She's making 6 figures at 26 years old.
Okay.
And I told her, I said, no disrespect.
Boo.
However, your dating pool gonna be real small if you think you're gonna find you another man at 26 making 6 figures because he doesn't have something that, unless he's just super driven or came up in a household where his dad was just super corporate and by the book and stuff like that and just drives him to do that, he's not gonna do it until he has something that puts that battery in his back. And so I gave her that same framework that I just gave you is what I gave her. She went, oh, I never thought of it that way.
Unless you're my son, my 26-year-old Columbia graduate who's a tech co-founder that raised millions of dollars in venture capital. Now, with women and no man in the house. But no, that's a sidebar. I just had to throw there.
But that's a good sidebar.
He's a unicorn.
That's a good sidebar. But he's a unicorn because of what he saw his mom do.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
He says, my mom's an entrepreneur. My mom put in the work. My mom worked hard. You know what I'm saying? My mom bet on herself. My mom, kept pushing and kept educating herself to expand her business. My mom decided that being just a lawyer wasn't good enough. My mom became a real estate. She got in real estate. That's not good enough. My mom became a real estate broker. That's from the optics of what was right there with him in his household, that he's able to say, this guided me to say, I can bet on myself in these spaces to be able to go be a person that can generate millions of dollars. Had he not had you there.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what this is about. Like you here to tell me I'm a king, you a queen.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like you deserve your flowers as well because, if it had not been for seeing that, and seeing the person that you are, the love that you show, the integrity that you have, the amount of ambition that you have to keep pushing forward, and you're still doing it today.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Starting this right here, this platform, this is all business that he's able to see. He's like, she didn't stop there. Come on, man. When you see somebody around you, you have somebody in your corner and you see them grinding and you say, that person didn't stop there. They kept seeing how they could become greater, how they could do more, how they could impact the community, that kind of thing. That's important because, again, it's hard to be what you never see. This is what he saw. This was his optics. You said being a hairdresser ain't going to be enough.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're probably doing phenomenally, you know what I'm saying? Because you're doing celeb hair and stuff like that. But everything that you've tapped into, it's the thought of how can I be the greatest that's in it.
Wow.
Now you might not reach it, but like I say, people that shoot for the moon land somewhere amongst the stars.
Hallelujah. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I just got choked up, and so I'm a little off my game because I struggled with that as a single mom. And so to hear the words, I mean, and your kids aren't just going to walk around and go, oh, like you're the greatest, but does my son love me? Does he treat me like that? But I don't get it and that's why it's so important for me to showcase men and showcase men like you, who I need women. I need the world to understand that there are good guys like you out there,
100%.
who are good husbands, who are good fathers, who choose to the right path and excel in their career, and then choose to be servants. And you just that's why you're a minister. You're a minister because you just ministered to my spirit so much so that it pretty much choked me up. And I appreciate every word that you said, because I don't look at it, the same way. You're just grinding it out here. You're not thinking about it or ever thinking why.
Yeah.
So I appreciate those words, which leads me to ministry and talking about the ministry. And so I know you got ordained during COVID, but can you tell me what life has been like since you've gotten into the ministry?
Yeah, I mean, a whole lot of preaching, like right off the bat, shoot, I think we were doing Bible studies and stuff prior to even being ordained. And then, the pandemic happens, and then it's, how do you reach people? Because everybody's at home, and it's like, do you give up on it? Do you give up on the church? Do you give up on being a minister? And it's like, nah, we gotta pivot. We gotta really reach people regardless. And so we went from being able to be in service and touch people and preach and that to, we got to record everything.
Right.
And so it became, weekly schedules of, who's on first, pretty much like, okay, well, how many Bible studies can you come crank out on a recording? How many sermons can you come and crank out on recording? So that way we have content that we can release weekly, and really reach people. We started men's Bible study, and, I had never even heard of Zoom before the pandemic, but we bought Zoom licenses and said, okay, we can do men's Bible studies virtually.
Yeah.
And we began to do that. And, and ministry comes in multiple ways. It's not just about preaching and delivering the message. Sometimes ministry is just me being able to sit and talk with someone, and really just better yet, beyond just being able to sit and talk with someone, sometimes ministry is just being able to be a listening ear for somebody and what they're going through.